Eamon Khan here for Seconds Out with head honcho of Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, which witnessed the undercard press conference. Get ready for the main event too. Bit spicy up there?
Yeah, I like it. I really like the card from top to bottom. I think it's got a little bit of everything. I mean, look, it's a massive main event, but particularly the Gary Cully Reece Mould fight, which I think two really good lads, both convinced they win. Paddy Donovan, who's Andy Lee's telling me this kid's the future of boxing in Ireland and even in the world. And I like Danny Bull a lot. I think he's a really, really good, complete fighter. It's a massive chance for him. Thomas Carty, once again, talking a great game against Dan Garber. Sky Nicholson's got a tough test against Lucy Wildheart. Two brilliant all-Irish fights as well on before the bell. Zelfa Barrett, Giorgio Vizioli's professional debut. Really good night of boxing.
At the top of the card with Katie Taylor and Chantelle Cameron and Taylor too, I should say. Important for both fighters to not fight with emotion, but more importantly for Katie if she wants to get the victory.
Yeah, I think she's got to fight smart, but can she do that? I mean, we've seen so many times, haven't we, Katie Taylor just being war after war. Like, it's pretty obvious that against the bigger opponent, against the opponent probably with heavier hands, and with Katie's boxing skills, she should try and box a little bit more. Most Katie Taylor fights, she'll build a nice lead in the fight before she goes into the trenches. She wasn't able to do that last time. The problem is, I feel like Chantel's going to start really fast in this fight. From the first bell, just come out and force the action again. And that's going to be difficult for Katie to just box and move and win rounds because she's going to get backed up all the time. So I don't know what the right thing is to do. But, they've got to find a solution on Saturday.
Solution needs to be found. Indeed, we'll wait for that fight on Saturday night. I want to get your thoughts on the wider scene in boxing. First of all, it's come out that Benn's opponent Orosco has tested positive for banned substances in the system. What can you tell us outside of what's been reported?
Well, what was reported last night about the ban was the first I've seen about it. So we know that obviously this is a commission test. They're dealing with it. This is not an independent one from us. So we hadn't heard that he'd been banned. And we've reached out to the Florida Commission today. You couldn't really make it up, to be honest with you. But, I'd like to say it's good that we're increasing the testing and people are being found out who have, adverse findings or, illegal substance in their body. But we don't ever really like to hear it, to be honest with you, because I don't think it's a good look for the sport. But here we are, and couldn't really make it up, but that's what happened.
Were drug-free sport used in that fight match card?
VADA, yeah. VADA for Benn and Orosco, and the entire card. All of our fights now carry VADA. Always the main event, and now the big fights on the undercard as well. So that was an instance where Benn Orosco was an undercard fight, but of course he'd been tested a long time leading up to that fight. He's on the clean boxing program. They tested him, and we also put VADA in place for his fight as well.
What's Conor said about that when he heard the information? Have you had a conversation with him?
He said no wonder he took all those shots. But at this point, I don't really know what to say. It's just quite incredible. But again, with the increased testing, we hope that if someone is, and don't forget as well, everybody gets a right or should get the right to explain a situation. And really prove their innocence. So we'll let him do that. But ultimately, if someone is intentionally cheating, hopefully we can find that out through this increased testing.
Conor Benn has mentioned that he wants Jon Bootes Ennis because no one wants Jon Bootes Ennis. Is that on a target here?
Listen, Conor's kind of at the stage now. He's ready to sign a Eubank fight. And if Eubank doesn't take the fight, then we are going to have a massive fight at 147. And Conor has asked me to look at Jon Bootes Ennis, basically everybody at 147. Conor is so ready to go. But we've got 4 or 5 days to close the Eubank fight because that's February the 3rd at Spurs. And it's 10 weeks this Saturday. And it's one of the biggest build-ups you'll ever see. And we want to have the opportunity to promote that fight like it should be promoted in front of 70, 80,000. So it's over to those guys. Like I said, we're ready to go with that fight. But now we're starting to look at 147-pound options as well.
Just something I should have asked yesterday regarding AJ and Otto Wallin, criticism regarding the rematch clause, whether it's warranted or not there. Just wondered what was the decision making? Did it come from yourself? Did it come from AJ, the team, as to why the rematch clause, or yourself, if the rematch clause is put in?
Because you have to understand, Otto Wallin has been chosen, actually not even by us in this instance, it was put to us, and he is getting an opportunity to make, I don't know, 5 times more money than he's ever made before as a pick, right, against Anthony Joshua. Like, so if you win, we're going to run it back. And I don't think that's untoward when you've built the profile and you've built the standing of Anthony Joshua. And by the way, if you don't want to sign it, don't sign it. He's not moaning about the rematch clause because he probably thinks if I beat AJ, I'll beat him again for a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? But really, see these rematch clauses, just blame me. Seriously, because I'm, if you want to call it protecting my client, it's just common business practice in boxing. Every promoter who has a major name, who has a voluntary defence against someone from a list of people, will insert a rematch clause. And sometimes it'll be a different situation, and I'll try my luck of having a rematch clause to protect a fighter. Not AJ, any one of my fighters. Do you know what I mean? That's my job. So yeah, in this instance, absolutely. And I would expect Joseph Parker has a rematch clause with Deontay Wilder. In fact, if he doesn't, then Team Wilder haven't done a very good job because Joseph Parker's making an absolute fortune.
I haven't seen anything official in terms of the broadcast situation regarding the Day of Reckoning. I believe, apart from a Wilder leak saying that it's going to be on pay-per-view over in the USA and over here in the UK, maybe it might land on BT pay-per-view. But what's the DAZN situation in terms of carrying that on broadcast?
Yeah, that'll be announced soon. All the teams are discussing that at the moment. Don't forget, AJ has an exclusive deal with DAZN. Yeah. So, obviously, those talks are ongoing, and there'll be an amicable solution, I'm sure, an announcement very soon.
So does that mean it could be the situation where Anthony Joshua's fight is broadcast in the UK on DAZN? Is that in place?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But there's many ways to skin a cat in this regard. So it's a conversation that Saudi will have with the broadcasters, and I'm sure everyone will be happy.
I saw a quote yesterday regarding your position in boxing. You called yourself a blagger, a top blagger at that. I thought you did yourself a little bit of a disservice. I'm not trying to do Eddie Hearn loving here, but that's still a bit of a disservice there to your abilities.
I don't rate, I don't see that I'm particularly gifted. Like, I'm not like this intellectual mind. I am what I am. I guess I'm a salesman, and sometimes I give interviews and I'm just in a little bit of a funny mood and I just call myself a blagger. But only because, the main reason I say that is because, look, I know I'm good. I know I'm a very good salesman. But I never, when I started, did I ever think that I would be promoting 30, 40 shows a year worldwide with multiple broadcast deals in the major markets around the world, doing 10, 12 shows, signing Canelo Alvarez, selling out Dallas Cowboys, selling out Guadalajara, selling out Las Vegas, selling out Madison Square Garden. So in that respect, I guess I just feel like I'm a bit of a blagger. I can't believe it. I'm a bit of a blagger, really. So yeah, thank you very much for your words. But I don't see, I'm always my own biggest critic as well. Like every show that I do, I'm very harsh on my opinion of that show. So although I might appear to be really cocky and really arrogant with a big ego, I'm confident, but I don't rate I rate myself as a talker. I think I'm at this and stuff like this, I'm unrivaled. But there's a lot of people that are smarter than me. I'm sure Bob Arum, my dad is so much more smart than me. So much more smart than me. Is he a better promoter? No. Can he sell like me? No. He's very, very good. But see, like Arum and Warren, they are also really smart people. I'm streetwise. But, I'm not an intellectual. I'm inferior to those people intellectually. I am. When you break down intellectuality, it's all kinds of different things, isn't it? You are probably a lot more intelligent than me. Well, but on so many different things. Do you know what I mean? That's what I said about Simon Jordan. Simon Jordan's so much smarter than me. But he don't know boxing like me. So if he wants to debate current affairs or whatever, I'm sure he'll just run me under the table. But he can't debate boxing with me because it's just an opinion of knowledge of that much versus a life of boxing. Every day, living and breathing it for 20 or 18 hours every day. So, yeah, I've just had a bit of a result, really.
Curious quote indeed. Just want a couple of things quickly to run through. Curious entrance into the jungle. Tony Bellew.
Yes,
What do you think of that?
He just wants to, chill out and spend time with his family and kids, and stay away from the limelight. I said to him, he phoned me up just before he went in, and celebrity SAS in the jungle. The reality is Tony Bellew is one of the most loyal. If you really needed to go to war, or you needed help, he's one of the first people I would go to. Like top man. And I know that in the Twitter world and stuff like that, people have a go at him, but honestly, a real pure heart, and he'll do really well. He might lose his rag a little bit out there, but I'm looking forward to watching it.
Lastly, Eddie, just a message to Adam Smith, who has returned from his cancer treatment, looking to return to the sport in some form there. Just some words on Adam Smith and his return.
Yes, but I had lunch with him the other day. Forever a friend in boxing. One of the greatest commentators in the history of the sport. A great boxing mind as well. I don't think he's going to struggle to find his way back in the sport. Who knows? Maybe with us, maybe with DAZN. And I'm sure there's plenty of other broadcasters and promoters that would love to work with him. So great to see Adam back. I went to see him during his difficult time with his illness, his cancer, and it's amazing to see him come through. And he looked really well, and he was full of beans in our lunch the other week. And I'm looking forward to seeing him back in boxing.
Cheers, Eddie. Appreciate it.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks.